Hello, welcome to another Intel update video from here within the UK. This is part 2 of today because we are just getting them coming in all the time. Even when I finished this one, I went to the top and there was another 7 emails. They're going to have to wait till tomorrow, otherwise I'm never going to get these uploaded. So if you do have any important information which you feel is going to be useful for everyone preparing here in the UK, and indeed some of you guys watching from around the world, I know some of you guys are interested to see just what's going on over here in the UK. So this is what I'm getting and this is what I'm sharing. The email address is below this video. Fill your boots, send me an email. So without further ado, let's get into this. It's the 9th of January 2023 and this is Intel Update number 2. This is from Justin in Wiltshire. Now Justin emails me in. He was saying that 3 genome related jobs have just been listed for UK HSA. Okay, we've been through this before in previous live streams at Porton Down. Yes, Porton Down where all the secret nasty chemical stuff goes on. Really dangerous environment down there. Okay, so we are looking at post number 1 is asking to find a senior bio, now this is an interesting word, informatician. It's almost like information tician, like a technician at the end, morphed together. That's a new word on me. Okay, informatician. Informatician. Right, so a scientist, a senior bioinformatician scientist. Looking from what I just said before, which is the UK Health Security Agency. Very sinister organisation from the research that I've done personally into that. Okay, since the issue in 2020 there has been a lot of these agencies born. As you keep on hearing, never let a good crisis go to waste. Let that sink in because there is a lot changing. Okay, so this is basically looking into human pathology. The second position is a senior scientist with experience particularly in virology, genomics and sequencing. The third vacancy is a principal bioinformatician, G7, genomic data analyst with high levels of experience with human pathogens. So they are the 3 vacancies which have just become available in the UK HSA website under the location of Porton Down. And indeed that's in Wiltshire, just where Justin is. So this is local intel from what we're gathering here. So yeah, look into that and let me know what you see. And maybe some of these positions are being replaced by people who didn't want to go along with the program, or maybe they just want extra staff, because I believe they've already got these guys and girls at that facility working long hours doing all sorts of weird stuff. I'm not going to say wonderful. So this guy has asked me to name himself publicly as DB. Okay, no idea where DB is from. This is from a company email that was sent out, basically summarizing, because it's a long email and it's just a short piece which I feel is relevant for everyone. Okay, and the email sort of flavor and what they're saying is ensure things are in place for another lockdown in 2023 due to a possible further type outbreak. Now, I want any of you listening to this information right now, are you hearing of anything leaning towards lockdowns in 2023 here in the UK? All right. I'm not going to mention some keywords on here, but yeah, someone wrote a book about the next P ending in C, long word. So yes, possibly this year. Let me know your thoughts. Comment section below. If you don't want to be known publicly, please send me an email. And if you do want to remain anonymous, which some of these emails are, rest assured, your identity will not be revealed. Incidentally, before we crack on, I've had a few emails from people saying, why don't you say this? Why don't you say what their names are? It just looks suspicious. Now, listen to me. If you are in a position where you could be at risk, you want Only going to want your name and location revealed publicly just to satisfy the weirdness that's going on in your mind, because what you're believing, I'm saying, is complete BS. Well, if that's the case, please look. I've been doing videos since 2012. Would I still be here? Would I still have this following? Look at the comments from people who know me. They will put you in the right direction. This isn't BS. This is what people are sending in. And if they want to remain anonymous, that's their wishes, and I'm not going to expose them. So if you don't like it, tough. Go and watch something else. Right, let's crack on, no problem at all. Also says that the USA government has spent $290 million on anti-radiation poisoning medications. Now, I was privy to this middle of last year, as most of us were, but it's saying that this is not iodine, okay, and there's a shelf life of only 18 months, and it has to be stored chilled. So that is an awful lot of money to spend on anti-radiation poisoning medication, which is what it's being called as. It could be something else, right? It might not be nothing to do with radiation stuff. But either way, 18 months is a very short shelf life, and it has to be stored chilled, and $290 million is a hell of a lot of money. So this is from Sandra from Dorset. As I said in part one, just before this one, I'm going out tonight for Light newspaper once again. Now, basically this, if you do not know, this is all voluntarily run. Okay, so they just rely on donations, etc. Okay, it's very, very, very hard to do. And from what I've seen, those guys to do with the Light newspaper are doing an absolute amazing job. They seriously are. Okay, it's pretty much like the UK column. Any of you know an old friend of mine, Brian Gerrish. It's pretty much on the same wavelength. Okay, now this is nothing to do with that GB News. In my own humble opinion, that GB News is controlled opposition, and I will have nothing whatsoever to do with it. Okay. There's far too much funding going into that. Do you know that Vanessa Feltz gets £1 million a year just to go on there? Now, tell me that's not controlled opposition. And if you want to go further, Russell Brand, again, I don't trust a word he says. I don't trust a word that the Tesla guy, okay, I don't trust a word he says either. They're my own opinions, you know. Don't get out your pram if you don't agree with them. That's fine. We're all entitled to our own opinions. Anyway, let's go on before I start going into full rant mode. Heavens above. Right, yes, the Light newspaper, all voluntary, fuel prices, etc., are leading for this particular person called Sandra, having to make cutbacks and delays on deliveries. Hard copies of the newspaper, so a physical newspaper, not some words on a screen, a real old-fashioned newspaper on paper. Hard copies are available for £5 a month, and they will be delivered straight to your door. Now, like I said, a lot of my elder viewers are really jumping on this because they've got time to digest all this information, and lots of the elders who are watching these videos that I make, lots of them are subscribing. Do you know there's nearly 20% of everyone who watches my channel is now over the age of 65. Now that's incredible. It's so amazing to hear this. And yes, you elders, please tell your friends. The more people see this stuff and hear this stuff, the more people talk about it, the more brains we can get to solving this massive problem, which looks like taking everyone down on the planet over the next 8 years. It's looking crazy. So we go on. All delivered to your home. There is a hub which has been dropping off all of these newspapers at independent petrol stations, farm shops, convenience stores, charity shops, a local park group, DIY stores, markets, and indeed barbers as well. So this is just Sandra. This is what Sandra does on her round in Dorset, going to these particular type of places. And the park groups, I think they are taking thousands of these newspapers. So the Light newspaper is going, and email me and I'll try and send you information of where you can get all this stuff from and get it all arranged. It's a fantastic newspaper, all right? I'm not going to go on about it, but there you have it. Basic information there. we're going to go on to this one is anonymous. Okay, most of them have given me their names, but this one is anonymous. It doesn't want to be named because this is the guy's job. He assures me that lots of ATMs are being removed from smaller sized towns. Now, I can say this from first hand. Only yesterday I went to view a local office, and in that location is a high street, and right opposite there is an ATM, a cash point. And I was saying to the guy, it's a great location for me to do my videos in this office because it's got everything here. It's even a cash point over the road. And he grinned, he said, that's going very soon, in the next month. Oh, no way. Because that's the only one there. The nearest one is like 10 miles away. So, yes, basically, from what I've seen with my own eyes, and some of you guys who live in smaller towns can probably confirm this too. Yeah, small towns, the ATMs, they're removing them and they are not being replaced. Check this next piece of information out. However, old ATMs, cash points in the cities are being replaced with newer, and this is my words, not his, possibly smart ATMs. All right, so look into that what you will. Okay, so yeah, look at the bigger picture. Smaller towns, all right, all of the ATMs one by one are being removed and are not being replaced. All of the ones in the cities, the old ones are being taken out and brand new, up-to-date, current, modern ones are being installed. So if they want to make sure that they get everyone out of the countryside into the cities, this is a very small step of how they would do such a plan. Can you imagine cutting off all of the cash and all of that sort of trading and whatnot in small towns? People don't want to use cards. People don't want to use the self-scanning register thing they do in these little tiny supermarkets. They don't want to do it because the facial recognition and everything else and all the traceability. People love to use cash. And from my own experiences, when I speak to people, staff working on the cash tills, they're taking more cash than ever before. So that is an absolutely massive positive step to all of this mess that we're going in. The more that you use cash, the longer we're going to have to try and figure out how to solve this big mess that we're all in. Okay. So yeah, that's crazy. This is from Liz up in Scotland. Inform the viewers that the Magna Carta is still valid to this day. So if any of you guys don't know what the Magna Carta is, I looked at this years ago, okay? I don't know if they're still going, but I used to look into and use, and I've spoken to these guys personally, face to face, the British Constitution Group, okay? Brian Gerrish was involved in that, and the guy who used to be in the police, Albert something, was it Albert Jones? I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but no, excellent information within that group. Let me know via an email if them guys are still going. It's been a long time for me, but yes, the Magna Carta is still valid, okay? They go into details about paying council tax and all that sort of thing. So if you want to look into common law, maritime law, very interesting, all of that stuff is within that sector, okay? So yeah, fill your beats, free man on the land and all that. So we're going to go on to Martin. Martin is emailing from the West Midlands. CBDC, central bank digital currency. Basically, he wants to have a phone call with me. I haven't had time at the moment, and this guy's very busy as well. But he's asked me to pass on to you guys, the viewers, to search for Ripple and Bank of England, Ripple and Digital Foundation, Ripple and IMF. If you don't know what IMF is, it's the International Monetary Fund. They are more powerful than central banks. They are the guys in charge of all the money. Okay? When you think central banks are big and powerful, yes, they are. Look at the IMF. Wow. Insane. Also, look into ISO 20022. So ISO 20022. Is asked me to pass on that information that people can look into. Okay, they are ready to go now with central bank digital currency if they have to. Now that scares me to hell. It really does, because we have all been told by the mainstream, yes, more for us, that this is all being rolled out in 2025. It's done. It's ready in place. Now something that's going to trigger this, where this starts to come in. The slow rollout has already happened worldwide. So central bank digital currency has already been rolled out worldwide and is in formation. It's done. It's a done deal. Okay. Moving on to, this is from Louise. Louise is from Bradford. She has been seeing diesel shortages, shortage of eggs and milk. Do you know what? There's hardly any eggs where I am locally too. ATMs are out of service. This is, whether it's in Bradford or the outskirts of Bradford, it doesn't say it, it just says Bradford. Yeah, the cash points are out of service. Oh, look, listen to this. No hotels to stay in. Now, Louise wants to get some friends and family over to see her because it's her birthday soon and they wanted somewhere for them to stay. She's been phoning around hotels in and around Bradford and they all appear to be private. So, once again, this is a big issue and something very poignant to end this short intel video on. Hotels in the UK do appear to be privately owned, more than some that are possibly still available. Let me know if there is any hotels which are taking in normal bookings like they always have done, okay? It seems to be becoming a rarity. It's a big concern, and from the information that I'm receiving, very alarming. All 20 to 30 years old, fighting age, all fit, no obese, no women, no children. This is a national concern. Please email me any information you have which is relevant to everything which I've spoken about, not just on this video, but part 1 video 2. Please email in. If you wish to remain anonymous, that's absolutely fine. Ignore the haters to say they want to know who your names are. Right, okay. Like I said, the email address is below this video and go for it, okay? Now, you guys stay safe and take care out there. There's lots of things coming down the road. So, thanks very much for watching and stay funky.